Thank you all for coming. Very important day for all of us at YPNC, friends and family of our interns. My name is Tim Sullivan. I'm the Senior Director of Climate Resilience for the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council. I'm doing a poor imitation today of being Michelle Stewart. She is taking a deserved vacation. I know she's heartbroken that she couldn't be here today because this day, these presentations always mean a lot to her. She'll watch the recording of it, and just so the interns all know that she is there in spirit. I texted with her last night, and she's very sad that she couldn't join. So for those that haven't been at one of our intern presentations before, this is a culmination of a few months of work by our interns, and this is an extra special day because we also have presentations from two of our partner interns that have been working with our partner organizations and doing work here. Those partners being the Center for Western Weather and Water Extreme, CW3E, and Colorado Mountain College and Riley, working as that intern. And then very special, first time we've done this, sort of shared, but mostly led by the Routt County Wildfire Mitigation Council, Hadley Lavados, being able to present as well. So it's great that we're getting this cross-organizational engagement from our young and rising leaders in Routt County on critical issues that we all face. And I know you'll all find inspiration in the work they've done and feel better about the future. So I'm going to turn it over to the person who deserves all of the credit, or at least most of the credit, for making this program such a success. That's Dakota Dolan. Cody is amazing in the way she works with the interns, both in helping to select them, mentor them, bring them through, and have other partners come and engage with them. So Cody is responsible for really making the filling process, and that we continue to get such a great crop of new interns who can share their enthusiasm and experiences with all of us on the staff and with you in the community. So I'm gonna turn it over to Cody.
So thank you for that introduction. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm thrilled to see such a packed group. This is awesome. I'm really proud of this group. Summer, kind of like Tim mentioned, it's kind of a special time. We have our biggest group of interns in the summer. YVSC has the most events and kind of things happening to engage with. And we also get to work with our partner organizations and kind of collaborate with those interns as well. So summer is a really special time to be an intern, and I'm not picking favorites.
Wow, because you had it the other way around. Because
yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I don't care.
I think someone might need to mute their microphone. Just gonna add a note. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. I'm really excited for these interns to show you what they've been working hard at over the last 12 weeks. For those of you not familiar with the program, it's a 12-week professional experience that YVSC hosts every fall, spring, and summer. And it basically allows interns to work with a YVSC staff member, and together they work on a project concept that both meets the needs of YVSC at that time and also addresses that intern's skills and interests so that they can come together and create a unique, one-of-a-kind internship project. And all of those are rooted in one of YVSC's 5 priority areas, and those are waste diversion, energy, transportation, community engagement, and resilient land and water. So I think it's a very special program and provides a unique opportunity for interns to really engage with the community and with YVSC staff, as well as other agencies, organizations, and local government, et cetera. So I really hope you enjoy what they have to show you today. And one quick note, I know we're here from 12 to 3. Please help yourself to lunch. I'm not going to have any scheduled breaks, so please feel free to come and go, use the restroom, which is right around the corner, and please help yourself to lunch. So with that, I will start us off. We're going to start with Sloan Spear. She was our intern working on the connections between art and the local community, as well as climate action. And she's just going to pass something out really quick, and then let's welcome her up to the podium. Hey, Sloan. And one other note, while Sloan is making her way up here, there will be a moment for questions and discussion after each presenter. So just hold on to your questions. And folks that are joining online, if you can type in your question, and then Abby will kindly help in projecting those to the room.
I'm the energy guy. I'm here to bring the energy. So feel free to stand up, move your arms, do whatever you gotta do. Let's put me on last. Wake everybody up. So my project was heat pump expansion in the Yampa Valley, contacting contractors to start a heat pump referral program. So a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. I've been in Steamboat for about 2 years now. I'm pursuing a degree in ecosystem science at Colorado Mountain College. Really great. Some of my hobbies include hiking, skiing in my rainbow mushroom suit, and golfing. A lot of fun stuff. I mean, I just love being in the outdoors, but just like everybody else in this room. Yeah. Some of my staff mentors, we have Paul Boney, who's the Energy and Transportation Director. He's like a wizard without the beard. So he's really great. So much technical knowledge. If I even got 5%, I think I consider it a success. And then we also have Cody Dolan. And what can I say about Cody Dolan that hasn't been said already? I mean, Cody is like the Lord with flies over here, really just, guiding us along in terms of all of our internship stuff, and really another great mentor to have. So some of my partners' acknowledgements. So we got Doug Jones, Northwest Colorado Council of Governments. He was really helpful in talking about heat pumps and insulation, because that's part of what they do, along with other home energy improvements. Connor Burns, former YMCA staff member, now he is an electric home advisor at it's called Zero Energy Group, I believe. Really great stuff. Sad we lost him, but he was able to help me, so I appreciate it, of course. And then some of the specific YVSC staff members, Abby Vandergraaf, just helping me with all my sort of general internship stuff. We have Lane, who helped me figure out some of my referral form stuff, and like potential automation and routes that we could go with that, which is really cool. And then Tad over there in the back, who's going to be taking over this project once I leave. I'm very excited to see where it's going to go. And of course, a big thank you to every single YVSC staff member and everybody here today. I really do appreciate it. So, project relevance. Part of YVSC's mission is to reduce carbon emissions. Heat pumps are more efficient and don't use fossil fuels. We want to address the gap between contractors and consumers. And the work that I'm doing is really foundational to start this program. And really, the reason why heat pumps, because we don't burn anything to make energy. We just take heat from one place and move it to another place. And part of the Carbon Action Plan, it has recommendations to electrify heating and cooling systems throughout the Yampa Valley. And this is 2 systems in one, which is really beneficial, which is what we talk about here. So again, it's the most efficient way to heat and cool homes. And there's a little asterisk here because each system is different. There's air to water, mini splits, geothermal, just regular air source heat pumps. And so how you measure efficiency in these systems is the units of heat produced per the unit of energy put in. So a regular air source heat pump can get between like a 2 or a 3, which means they get 2 or 3 units of heat per 1 unit of energy. Whereas if you're looking at like a propane or natural gas, those are measured based on the efficiency of the burner that's producing heat, not even thinking about the energy that takes to take that heat and move it. So they're just horribly inefficient. And so that's really why heat pumps are so important to the efficiency and goals of reducing carbon emissions. They're also more cost effective because again, you're not really burning anything. You just have this pump that's taking heat from one place and moving it to another place. So, you also get better indoor air quality because again, you're not burning anything. You're not doing anything like that. And also it's heating and cooling in one unit. So rather than having a burner any sort of system like that in your home, you just have one thing that heats in the winter and cools in the summer. So, and while I'm here, I'll take a few questions if anybody has any specific questions about heat pumps while we're on this. No? Great. Keep it going. So some of my project objectives were to vet our current contractor list, create a template for heat pump inquiries and to connect to contractors, facilitate communications between YVSC and contractors, and to understand what they need in order to be successful in the Yampa Valley. So my methods, I ended up calling 20 different contractors. And if you guys know anything about getting in contact with contractors, that is a lot. So I got to speak with them about the information that they needed to give a sort of general quote and give a big idea to the customer. Cross-reference the needs of different contractors to create a sort of system for contractor inquiries, because each of them has different needs. Like some of them are like, oh, well, I just need the house, or some of them I need every little piece of information plus 100 other things. So it's sort of condensing all that information into one reasonable form. And then obviously just collecting their contact information. And then I created the referral form for the customer to fill out to give to the contractor so they can give a quote on the type of heat pump system that they're interested in. So some of my final outcomes or deliverables were creating all these relationships with all these contractors. If anything ever breaks in my house, I know a guy who I can call that. So I got 20% of them to sign up for this program. I created a referral form, which we'll look at in a second. I also got to write a blog post and newsletter just as part of my intern stuff, which was really cool. So I'll go to that. Whoop. I guess because it's not published, we can't access it immediately, but I can talk about it anyway. Does it have to go in like presenter mode? Either way. So the form basically asks a couple of simple questions. Obviously, consent is important. So do you consent for your information being shared? Name information, first name, last name, phone number, email. Have there been any energy improvements to the home, such as changing the windows or adding more insulation? Because that can affect how efficiently these systems work in your home. Because if you have a home that's just breezy with all these old windows letting out all the heat, then you're going to need a different type of system. Also, obviously, address, the type and layout of the home, because depending on that, it can change the type of units that you need. So if you have, let's say, a house on a ranch and you have all the space, a geothermal system might be better because you have all the room to put that in the ground. Whereas if you're in a condominium, a mini split would probably be better because it takes up less space and you just have units in the individual rooms that you want to heat or cool. Yeah, and that's basically that little form. It's very simple, very easy. And that was a goal, to make it accessible for people. So my other contributions, we did the YVSC ride and drive. That was a great experience, driving all those electric cars and hanging out all day. The YVSC open house, another great one, where you get to show off the new office, which is amazing and a great space to hang out and work, especially with all the dogs. The Yampa Valley Electric Association, they have their annual meeting. I was able to go to that, which honestly was not the most interesting thing, but it's good to know that somebody's paying attention to where electricity is coming from. The Climate Action Plan Energy Working Group, which was really cool because I got to see all the different sort of stakeholders that we have in reducing carbon emissions and electrifying the Yampa Valley. I got to speak with Doug at Northwest Colorado Council of Governments about heat pump installation and get a sort of better idea about that. Obviously, YVSC intern kickball, which you guys have seen all the pictures of, and me unfortunately losing for my team, but that's okay. We'll get them next year. And then also the staff meetings, always great, and the intern meetings always fun. And visiting Bear Park, that was cool. I mean, I've been there, God knows how many times, but it's never not a fun time. So yeah, moving forward, Tad in the back over there will be taking over this program. There's his nice picture up there. My hope is to connect with even more contractors, which really just takes persistence and follow through. Holding a sort of heat pump open house where contractors can meet with customers and show off their products and people can get a real hands-on look at them. And also continue to monitor the responsiveness of contractors, because it doesn't really help anybody if they're not, we send them this information and they're not like responding to people. So, yeah. Takeaways. Contractors are hard to get a hold of. That, I definitely took that one away with me. We got 20% of them to sign up, which is in my heart a success. I created that template for heat pump inquiries. I gained skills in cold calling and sales. Sometimes I felt like an 80s stockbroker. I'm like, pick up the phone and start dialing, just like boom, boom, boom. Learned how to speak technically with contractors, which is a skill that I'll take with me forever. And then knowing more about heat pumps than any sort of normal person, I came into this not knowing a thing about heat pumps, but now I definitely know, I'd say more than the average person. Questions? Yes.
I want to install a heat pump at my house, if I can afford it. So I guess two questions. How can I afford it? Are there any things to help me? I have heard of some things at the state that might be available. And also, out of those contractors, like, where are we at in the Yampa Valley in terms of contractors installing, or are we not there yet?
So first part of the question, some of the federal grants are on shaky ground right now, obviously.
Not gonna even try.
Yeah. There are some state, unfortunately not really local from the local power company. I mean, the hope is that we can get the YVEA like to see this program and be like, hey, you know, we're saving you, we're driving up the usage. Why don't you guys give us some money? There are a handful of state grants and things like that. And the sort of the long-term idea for this program is to turn to like a bulk order system. That way, hopefully we can reduce prices. But I mean, the best thing is always competition. So, going to different contractors, and the sort of idea behind this is like, if you were doing the work that I was doing, I wanted to make that never have to happen again. It's like, we have this list so you can like speak to each of them and get like different quotes and find the system that's right for you ideally. And sorry, what was the second part of your question again?
Do we have any contractors who are doing it? And I guess also, like, I'm looking at putting in a radon mitigation system, and I'm like, oh, there's one person in the valley who does that, and they can charge whatever they want. So I guess also like competitiveness is something that I'm looking for. If I'm gonna only have one contractor, unfortunately, who does it, like, they can charge whatever they want.
So our current contractor network, out of those four, one of them is in the Front Range, one of them is in Golden, one of them is in Meeker, and then there's one like local SEMO company. And as much as I would love to work with all local companies, because I love supporting local business, it's not exactly, they're like, a lot of them don't even advertise or even have websites. So it's hard to track them down. And then also, like, they filled their schedule so fast. And that's also part of what made it hard to contact them specifically right now, is that it was like, right now is their busy season because they load up in early spring and then they just do these projects. They have a lot on their plates right now. So the idea behind this program is to get more competitiveness. And that's why we had to go to the Front Range and Golden and Meeker to get these contractors. So I think as the program grows, it'll get more competitive, but I think it's already in a somewhat competitive space right now. And also in terms of the different offerings that we have, there's some that do air to water, most of them do mini splits. There's one that does geothermal. And so there is like a fair bit of diversity and competition and different systems.
Okay.
So.
Andrew, can I?
Yeah, jump in.
Throw you a line here. Great question. So it's kind of a triangle of challenges we have to overcome. Can you get somebody to do the work? Until you can do that, there's no sense. Well, I was on a call just this morning, and this is a plug for anybody who has a younger person who wants to do an internship. We're going to work with the Collaborative Clean Energy Fund and bring low cost loans to folks, because reaching into your pocket for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 is not an easy thing to do. So next phase is to make sure we have funding available, 15, 20 or 30-year funding. They have a special program. We're going to become a regional partner that could tie that funding to your utility bill, to your property. And so we're going to work with them to try to make that happen here. And then if you want a heat pump, and you can get one of Andrew's 4 contractors right now, unfortunately, the federal tax credits for all heat pumps end at December 31st. So if you can pull the trigger on that, September 30th. Well, ground source goes till the end of the year. Yeah. So, but what we're trying to get to is a point where if we get 10 people that say, I need a ductless mini split, we know the contractors on the Front Range and even here locally someday have like, there's periods where they're just slammed and there's periods where they can send people up. So our mission is to make as much contracting available as possible, financing available, and then connecting customers to the contractors. And to Andrew's point, if there's only one person in town doing the work, their price point might be different than if they know a guy's gonna come up from the front range every spring and fall to do more work.
That financing, is it going to be limited to different municipalities or like jurisdictions?
So the Collaborative Energy Fund, they're a mission driven, for lack of a better word, energy efficiency regional funding partner. So they want to do loans up to $1 million for commercial projects and, you know, from whatever you need to $100,000 for residential projects. So look for more. We may have a presentation on that in our next internship meeting. So.
Thanks.
Yes, next question.
We got a ductless mini split system installed by a local contractor at our house here. It was Mountain High Mechanical. I got the contact information. I'll share with you if you want.
Awesome. I appreciate that. That's great. We're always looking for more contractors, as many as we can get.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll just ask a quick question. Of those contractors that you were able to track down, what did you hear back from them? I mean, in terms of kind of the major resistance and openness when they are less busy,
So
any sort of feedback that you can share?
for more of the local contractors, a lot of them were just like swamped or they have their own system and they're just not interested, which is totally fine. That's their prerogative. I felt like a lot of the front range contractors were more eager and willing to be like, whatever you guys need to make this happen, we will be there, we will do it, whatever, you know. They were, I think, a lot more easier to work with. And I don't know necessarily why that is. I'm just speculating here, but it might just be because like, look, I'm booked out to like December right now. I don't need any more. And like a lot of the way that they do things is through like referrals just from other people. Like a lot of local ones didn't even have like a website. So it's just like me getting these connections, even from other contractors, who's like, well, you know, I called a couple local contractors, like, well, we might be good reaching out to this person, that person. So a lot of it is networking and relationships. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a lot more receptive from those front range folks than the local people, unfortunately. You got one?
Of course I have. So you came into the internship program and we kind of steered you into a project. What was your biggest takeaway coming in as a, you know, not an energy guy, not a technical guy per se? What was your journey like in this project?
Sure, yeah. I mean, for me, when I came in, I didn't know a thing about heat pumps. I didn't even know what a heat pump was. I'm like, heat what? And so there's definitely a bit of a learning curve there, but you know, researching and studying definitely helped me out a lot. It definitely put into perspective for me, like all this sort of, like all the infrastructure work that needs to go into electrifying the grid. Cause it's very easy to say, oh, like, let's just electrify the grid. Oh yeah, sure. Well, you have to find a contractor, a guy to install it, a guy to provide everything. Like, it's just so much more goes into these projects, even on a house by house basis than what I had initially thought. So that was definitely a big change in perspective in that sort of journey from beginning to end. It gave me a lot more perspective and understanding of, I mean, unfortunately, how difficult it is to make this happen. But it is a good way to reduce carbon emissions and, you know, reduce the energy that we spend heating and cooling homes. So, yes.
Great job. 2 points. One, unfortunately, that photo is going to live forever.
I know. I've already accepted it.
Really great. It's and then the second question is, have you and Luke compared to decide who's harder to get a hold of, a rancher in the summer?
I don't know, Luke, but I gotta say,
You said 20% on there, so.
yes, but
Yeah.
I was dogging these guys. It was like bad. I call them once a day.
They don't.
Like it was bad. Like some of these guys, I was calling them once a day, like every single day in a week, and then text messages and emails and this. And, oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna have more success sending them a carrier pigeon, just being like, fly.
On your form, do you have the contractors like list what types of heat pumps they install?
Yes, so how we have it set up is like if you choose the type of heat pump, whether that's like a ductless mini split, geothermal, air to water, or even any or all, like we have all those options. And then we have our contractor list classified by like what exactly they do. And so when you, once you submit that form, we have all those responses and we send it out to the contractors that do that type of work. And then they are the ones who get back to you. And then a week or two after we follow up with you, be like, hey, did they get back to you? And if they didn't, we're gonna have a call. You're gonna be like, why don't you respond to our people? So, yeah. Yes.
So the contractors that you were able to reach out to, were they any kind of sort of climate conscious ones that are like really excited about heat pumps and want to do more installations, or their contractors that just weren't interested? And how would you get them interested?
So, I mean, I think the green that the contractors are motivated by is money. So, I mean, any way they can make more money and do more jobs is what they're trying to do. And like, I mean, some of them are like environmentally conscious, but that's not really necessarily what I'm concerned about. I just like more concerned about getting more heat pumps out there. And in terms of how we could potentially get more contractors interested, is really just showing this program once it's up and running, being like, hey, we have like let's say like 10 or 20 installs this past fall season. Would you guys like to be a part of that? You guys can, throw some bids in there, get involved. So, money talks. That's the way that we're gonna get them interested and get them involved. And do you have a question?
I did actually. What is a ductless mini split?
Sure. So a ductless mini split is where you have an outside unit and however many inside units you want. And so those are the easiest to retrofit because it's really just like you have like the outdoor unit, you have like a line to the inside units, and they just heat and cool per room. And so they're also generally the most cost effective and the most accessible. So that's basically what they are.
So instead of a duct, you have a little water line.
Yeah.
That carries water, hot water or cold water to your mini split mounted on a wall.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's very simple. You don't have to like tear down a whole wall. You just make a little hole, and it's, like I said, the most cost effective. So, yeah,
So next door will show you our ductless mini split heat pump.
oh yeah, that I took a picture next to it right here. So this little thing right there that I'm standing next to, that's the outdoor unit.
Okay.
So it's not like a lot of space. You can see like the line right over here. That's the line that goes upstairs and into the system. And I mean, it blows really cold. I mean, like Cody was in the room. We got them like what, like 62 degrees? It was cold.
Yeah, houses like don't have ACs right here, so I have heat at my house, but I'm like, oh, I can get one system.
For cold,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm gonna
It
do.
really
The
is awesome.
furnace needs to be replaced in 2 years, so that's.
Get it out of here. Stop burning stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is the geothermal one, are you digging a hole deep into the ground?
So you're boring, and then you have this line, it goes anywhere from like 50 to 100 feet in the ground, depending on the unit. And I mean, there are even some systems that go through like a whole like city, like Steamboat, and they go from house to house. There's one that they have at Colorado Mesa University that got like 13 units of heat per 1 unit of energy, which is insane when you think of it. An air source gets like 2 or 3. So those units are really efficient if you can like loop it throughout like a whole town or like a little city or whatever. But like on a regular house, you can expect efficiency of around 8, so 8 units of heat per 1 unit of energy. But they cost a little bit more because you have to drill into the ground, and it's just a little bit more cost effective. But they're more energy efficient in the long run, so that's a tough call. But I mean, geothermal is awesome. We actually have a geothermal company starting up real soon. Where are they out of? Are they out of Hayden or Craig?
They're technically out in Hamilton. But
Hamilton. Right. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them do some awesome stuff with geothermal energy. Very exciting stuff, like a local companies. So yeah. Yes.
You showed us a picture of that building. How does that work in the winter? Is that going to be our
Yeah.
You're air conditioning the outdoors.
I'm just picturing snow roofs.
Yeah, so I mean, so I mean. Yeah, it heats in the winter, that's gonna be like your heating source. And even when the temperature outside is like 32 or even below, it gets a little bit less efficient, but you're still able to pull heat out of that and put it inside, so. Yeah,
Uses like the difference in temperature between air and different spaces,
yes, yep.
or water, I guess.
And you do want to keep snow off of it.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to shovel it.
So we're gonna need to shovel.
Oh, yeah.
Paul will be shoveling.
That's right.
Ice to form inside, so you gotta keep a little.
Maybe that.
We have a watering crew in the summer and the heat pump shoveling crew in the winter.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, cause you don't want it to get like completely like covered in snow, cause it needs to take air in. So it's like, you're gonna have to clean it off a little bit. And also I'd imagine that would help the efficiency too, cause you don't have all that snow immediately on it, so.
Picturing it at our house, we typically in any given winter have this much snow about the height of that unit all around the house.
So maybe geothermal would probably be better, but that's no problem.
For
Oh,
across the street.
yeah,
it Sounds like we will have
It's
to
fine,
have a
so
open
if you see the
schedule.
good.
Yeah, something,
They're
yeah.
really about 4, 5, 6 feet.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
It's
no, of
all,
course.
it's all new to me.
yeah, no, of course. So. Anything else?